Warning, this video may include scenes with strong language. Hey, this is Pizza Dude Man Guy. A couple months ago, this channel reached 10,000 subscribers. Wow. I cannot thank you all enough for watching, enjoying, and conversing on my videos for these last 10 years. To celebrate, we're doing the very first Community Choice for Smash, a moveset on a character that was voted on by the viewers. And I am surprised to announce that our very first Community Choice winner was Conker the Squirrel. This is Community Choice number 1, Conker for Smash. Conker for Smash! Conker is an alcoholic squirrel. One especially bad night at the pub lands Conker far from home, and his perilous return takes him through prehistoric realms, haunted locales, the horrors of war, and even a world of poo, all while grubbing as much cash as possible and, unintentionally, becoming the king of all the land. Building an actual theme around Conker is practically non-existent. Conker's Bad Fur Day, the Conker magnum opus, is technically a platformer, but also includes large segments of racing, horror, and first-person shooter, among other things. The game is filled with movie references, and Conker himself has very few inherent powers. Almost everything is just references. So that's exactly how we're doing Conker's moveset. It's just a big love letter to everything in Conker's Bad Fur Day. I wanted Conker to follow in Banjo and Kazooie's footsteps anyway, with a more simple moveset that doesn't have an overarching gimmick. However, it still wound up having a lot of tricks built in, for instance, a very high double jump. Like Banjo-Kazooie, I wanted Conker to have something closer to his original design. The modern appearances may be graphical updates to the N64, but I just don't like the fuzz and eyes. My favorite rendition has been this one by Eman Pelletier. I think this is pretty much perfect to what I'd want to see in a Smash Bros. Conker. Obviously, some elements of Bad Fur Day would have to be toned down to fit Smash. No blood is no big deal, and while there is a lot of swearing in the game, little to none of it is from Conker himself, so that's not much of a loss here either. Now, we may not be able to use alcohol, but I think the thing that really stood out about Conker was his personality, and I think we can still portray Conker well and make nods to his moments without directly including drinking. This is a character you can have a ton of fun with on animations. His ground and air dodges could be Matrix-inspired movements. While swimming, he can put on water wings and get especially panicked when he's running out of time, calling out the player for letting him drown. When stunned or dizzy, Conker could take the appearance and movements of when he's hungover, and when knocked onto the floor, his eyes could roll like slot machines. What would be really cool is if Conker had all his idle animations, far more than any other Smash character. When still, Conker might brush off his shoulders, yawn, check his pocket watch, juggle balls, play with a yo-yo, play Killer Instinct on a Game Boy, or get annoyed and ask if the player is ever going to do anything.
Hey, I'd like to get home at some point, thank you very much.
If nothing else, I'd like to see the sheer number of special animations and direct conversation with the player as Conker's character gimmick. But now, let's get on with the moveset. While much of Conker's moveset will be big, overblown slapstick attacks, I wanted to keep the normal attacks quick and simple. The neutral attack is a 3-hit combo based on the fight with the alien, punch, punch, uppercut. Of course, it's done outside of the mech suit here, so it might most resemble Banjo's attacks. The dash attack is something a bit special, a ride on Mr. Barrel. As a unique function, this dash attack steamrolls over opponents rather than blasting them away, burying them into the ground like K. Rool's down tilt. It's very brief, so it's best to try to catch opponents at the end of the movement. I'm taking some creative liberties with the tilts. Forward tilt is a punch. It starts as the wimpy swing Conker begins the game with, but ends in a straight launch, like the punch used against the Haybot. It's got a decent knockback to it. Up tilt is a quick, whirling combo uppercut. This would have been Conker's main attack in the cancelled Conker 12 Tails, which was meant to be Conker's breakout game. Similarly, for down tilt, I'm going with a low tail punch, based on an attack from an earlier build of Conker's Bad Fur Day. It may seem strange to use moves that never made official appearances, but if I didn't, I'd probably just be making up attacks anyway. Forward smash is Conker's primary weapon, the frying pan. Conker pulls out a comedically oversized frying pan from Hammerspace and launches opponents far. The up smash is based on Conker's attack against the big guy. Conker lifts up 2 large concrete bricks and claps them above his head. A slow but powerful smash attack. Conker revs up his chainsaw for the down smash, then wings it to both sides of the floor. When charged, this attack rapidly strikes opponents as it rips through before launching them. The aerial moves bring in even more wacky stuff. For neutral aerial, Conker swats the air as a swarm of bees surround him. Bees are allies of Conker, and here they repeatedly damage and bounce opponents away who get too close. Forward aerial is a big smack with an Ooga Booga club. Conker never uses this weapon himself, but he does dress like an Ooga Booga for one chapter and leads a squadron of Ooga Boogas to attack on command, so I really wanted to include this and give Conker a big clobbering forward air. Back aerial is a fart. Conker doesn't have a fart attack, but he does have a poop attack, and Conker's Bad Fur Day is full of farting. So I thought it was a good reference. Conker releases a brown and green gas that absolutely blasts opponents away. Up aerial is Conker's blowtorch, a weapon he uses against bats. It's an upward pillar of flames that damages airborne enemies. And down aerial is the shotgun, Conker's main weapon in the spooky chapter. However, it takes its more blunderbuss-like appearance from Live and Reloaded and creates a downward cone-shaped blast that launches opponents opposite the way they were headed. Conker uses a two-handed grab, then pummels by biting opponents with his big squirrel teeth. Forward throw is based on one of Conker's idle animations. He simply punts the opponent forward. Back throw is another Mario throw. Conker uses this against the alien. For up throw, Conker keeps a hold of the opponent while transforming into a bat. Then he barely flies up while holding them, slamming them into the ground while turning back. And for the down throw, Conker jumps up and stomps on the opponent in a kind of stretchy, rubbery bounce. This is one of Conker's main attacks in Conker Pocket Tales. As usual, the floor attacks are also pretty straightforward. Forward floor is a scooping frying pan attack that strikes both sides, and back floor is a tailspin. The trip attack is like a headbutt followed by a back tail attack, and the edge attack is a front flip tail attack. Now, the special moves is where we get to have a lot of fun. For neutral special, Conker uses his catapult, which means slingshot. It's one of Conker's main weapons. It's charged like Link's bow, but you're not able to release it until it's done. However, while charging, you can tilt Conker to any direction on the joystick, giving you a lot of freedom with your shot. When released, Conker launches a Conker. The shots aren't super powerful, and they fly at a bit of an upward arc, which can make them tricky to use. However, after hitting an opponent or the ground, the Conkers will bounce once at the same velocity, allowing you to potentially strike twice with one Conker, strike 2 enemies at once, or make some interesting trick shots off walls and floors. Side Special summons Pitchfork Frankie, one of Conker's earliest friends in Bad Fur Day, and the first to congratulate him as king. Conker hops on and the two fly straight forward. At face value, it's a simple side special that helps with recovery and dashes while stabbing enemies forward. However, it has a sweet spot. If you hit an opponent with the very end of the movement, it will produce a fire effect that deals increased damage and much higher knockback. The up special is Conker's helicopter tail. It's a bit unique. It only gives Conker a small vertical lift, but high horizontal control and an extended slow descent before Conker goes into freefall. It can be a great recovery aid, but Conker will have to rely more on his massive double jump for height. It's a bit of a trade-off with Yoshi. Conker's double jump isn't quite as impressive as Yoshi's, but his up special is a bit better. The rotating tail can also damage opponents, but it just kinda weakly slaps them away from above. Last, but most certainly not least, is Conker's down special, Context Sensitive. What is Context Sensitive? Basically, it gives Conker whatever he needs. In Conker's Bad Fur Day, it takes the form of bee pads that Conker can use to acquire a variety of attacks and weapons, some of which have already been used in this moveset. Here, a light bulb appears above Conker's head as he gets an idea. Then, Conker will perform one of 6 different special moves, depending on the situation he's in. It's context sensitive. It's kind of like how Hero has multiple down specials, but it's not randomly generated, and you don't get to pick what you get. You just use the one that makes sense in context. Context sensitive. When the light bulb disappears, if an opponent is in melee range of Conker, he will pull out his pocket watch and use it to hypnotize the opponent, lulling them into a deep sleep. It lasts longer than Jigglypuff's Sing, but only works on opponents directly in front of Conker. However, if the only opponents are behind Conker when the light bulb disappears, he will automatically turn around first. If no opponents are in melee range, instead, Conker will equip his giant crossbow and quickly unleash a straight, strong, long-range shot. This is a nice, simple ranged attack you can rely on if the catapult isn't a good option. If an opponent physically attacks you when the light bulb is present, Conker will negate the move and strike back with his katana. It's completely a ripoff of the Fire Emblem counter. If a projectile reaches Conker when the light bulb is present, Conker will strike it away with a baseball bat, his primary weapon in Live and Reloaded, just like Ness. The attack also blasts nearby enemies away, should they be close by when a projectile hits Conker. If you use Context Sensitive in the air, Conker will transform into an anvil, one of his most utilized context sensitive abilities. It's very much like Kirby's Down B, but with more power and less freedom. Conker transforms quicker and transforms back immediately upon reaching the ground, with a bit of end lag animation, leaving him open to counter-strikes. However, Conker will not become an anvil if it would cause him to die by falling off the edge. That would not be context sensitive. In this situation, Conker instead wields a jetpack. It takes the appearance of the yellow mech suit, but rather than the entire suit, it's just the jetpack part, strapped on like a backpack. This grants Conker a short, fiery hop, giving him another recovery option. Conker's down B gives him a lot of tools at his disposal at the exchange of not being able to select them freely. I'm calling Conker's final smash Programmer's Arsenal, and it's based on events from the final boss fight as well as other weapons from the game. A lineup of arms appear before Conker, and one by one, he takes a hold of them. First, he shoots a pair of oversized SMGs all over the stage in front of himself. Rather than discernible bullets, the shots resemble long, quick-whizzing streaks of yellow light, or as I like to call them, Nintendo 64 bullets. They're fast and hard to avoid, but don't deal a ton of knockback. Then, he switches to a full-size flamethrower, releasing a long-range stream of flames in a wavy pattern. A bit slower, but stronger. Next, the bazooka. Conker launches several rockets in succession, each making explosions that can send opponents flying, although it's a bit easier to see them coming. Last, TNT. Conker pumps down a plunger and a line of large dynamite explosions spawn from the ground in front. It's a lot of motions, but it's all done quickly. It's a lot like Pit's Final Smash from Wii U and 3DS. Conker's on-screen appearance is one of Greg the Grim Reaper's extra chances. A giant skeletal hand descends upon the stage, gripping Conker by the tail and drops him off. The side taunt is the same Conker uses on the gargoyle. He gives a big smile and motions goodbye. For up taunt, Conker chugs down a can of, probably like a soda, right? Then lets out a big belch. In the down taunt, Conker pulls out the instruction manual and starts monologuing about how his own attacks work. Some of Conker's victory screens break the fourth wall as well. In Victory 1, the results menu doesn't completely load properly, and Conker fixes the screen by chainsawing it. In Victory 2, Smash coins appear in the bottom right corner of the screen, as they would in the results menu. Conker looks at them, stares at the camera with money symbols in his eyes, then snatches up the coins right off the screen and pockets them. Victory 3 is simpler. Conker waves and brags about how great he is, just like in Conker's Bad Fur Day. The victory theme is the intro of Windy. Outfits are a big part of Conker's Bad Fur Day as well. As far back as 12 Tales, you can see that Conker was always meant to blend in with the environment, so I really wanted to go all out here. Outfit 1 is Conker's default look from Bad Fur Day, and the alternate costumes are presented by Kiwi The Demon. Outfit 2 is a complete Ooga Booga costume, to go with the Ooga Booga chapter. Outfit 3 is a Van Helsing cosplay, which Conker wears during the spooky chapter in Conker Live and Reloaded. Outfit 4 is a full soldier uniform, as seen in the War chapter of Live and Reloaded, but with coloration inspired by Bad Fur Day. Outfit 5 is Neo Conker, which is always in the Heist chapter and is even usable in multiplayer mode. Outfit 6 is King Conker, updated with royal robes to match the Panther King. Outfit 7 is Classic Conker, based on Conker's appearance in Conker's Pocket Tales and Diddy Kong Racing. And Outfit 8 resembles Honker, Conker's mischievous skunk doppelganger from Conker's Pocket Tales. The Kirby hat is a red squirrel hat and tail. There is nothing quite like Conker's Bad Fur Day. This game really pushed what could be done visually and sound-wise on the Nintendo 64. It's impressive how visually discernible it is for the platform, and there aren't a ton of standout games from the era that had this much voice acting in it. Rare really put out a marvel here. The entire backstory of the game sounds like a joke too. What was originally intended to be another kid-friendly adventure became one of the most mature Nintendo games of all time, while keeping the cute style. It's no wonder this game became such a huge cult classic. Honestly, I would love to see Conker in Smash. While not to the same extent as Banjo-Kazooie, I do think Conker is a very notable piece of Nintendo history, and another long-lost icon. Even without the heavier, mature aspects of Bad Fur Day, Conker himself is such a fun character to work with, and could really be something special in SSB. If anything were to detract from Conker, I think it would be his lack of presence in Japan. While Banjo was always seen as more of a Western pick, I don't think Conker's Bad Fur Day was ever even released in Japan at all. From my understanding, the first exposure of this game overseas was Conker Live and Reloaded, and I doubt that made any kind of significant splash as an Xbox exclusive. I think Conker's inclusion would pretty much have to be fan-initiated, and while I'm inclined to say that I've never seen a big push for Conker in Smash, he won, over every other character, this community choice poll. Maybe now that Banjo and Kazooie are in Smash, Conker is the next step down this line. At the very least, it could finally be a satisfying avenue for longtime Conker fans. None of the attempts at bringing the series back so far have managed to capture the charm of the original game. Maybe Super Smash Bros. Is just the place now for rare characters to come back to life. Conker will always be a Nintendo boy at heart. Thank you all 10,000 plus, so much for watching. I hope you will continue to keep coming back here to share your own ideas. Let me know in the comments what you think of the moveset or what you think of Conker and Smash. See you next time for the next character.